I expect that by now, 1 year after St. Lucia officially began suffering from the economic and health fates of this global pandemic, just like many of us, you are exhausted from the rhetoric, the actions, and the psychological strain that currently compound our being. 1 year later, over 30 deaths, thousands of victims too many, escalating job loss rates, innumerable indigent citizens, an extended eons-long shadowing gender-based violence pandemic, and the list goes on and on and on. With all hope almost seemed to be lost, I ask you to stop and ponder on how much worse your situation could have been. Yet you are here, as resilient as a raging lion, overcoming life's insurmountable challenges with your armor of womanhood. Melinda Gates once said, and I quote, "A woman with a voice is by definition a strong woman." The autonomy and empowerment of women is paramount in the improvement of their political, social, and economic lives. In other words, sustainable women empowerment has its rightful place in our society, and the St. Lucia National Youth Council seeks to lend its voice to shattering the power relations that impede women's attainments of sustainable empowerment at the home, community, and national levels. According to the Beijing Plus 25 report St. Lucia 2019, stakeholders considered the top 5 priorities for accelerating progress for women and girls in St. Lucia to be, in order of priority, 1. Quality education, training and lifelong learning for women and girls. 2. Access to healthcare, including sexual and reproductive health and reproductive rights. 3. Women's entrepreneurship and women's enterprises. 4. Eliminating violence against women. And 5. Right to work and rights at work. Yet it is reported in the same document that violence against women continues to present several challenges, and the recommended constitutional and legislative changes to address discrimination against women in all its forms have been slow due to resource and capacity constraints. It is challenging for vulnerable young women to access national services and resources, thus increasing their vulnerability to many social ills. This may usually result in exploring alternative methods of employment, such as transactional sex work, resulting in increased risk of sexually transmitted diseases and infections, and situations of intimate partner or gender-based violence. Hence, the St. Lucia National Youth Council believes that there is the need for policies that inform effective programming to improve and secure the livelihoods of all our vulnerable women, thereby allowing them access to economic resources and necessities. There are deficiencies in the operations of our slow-paced judicial system, ranging from low prosecution rates to inadequate social protection and psychosocial support, which continue to cripple the sustainable development of our young women, just as much as women's lack of participation in the highest decision-making levels. And the time has long come for increased measures to be explored to greater inclusion of women's participation in parliamentary and other governing decision-making processes. As leaders, we must always engage disenfranchised, unattached, vulnerable young women who are in need of national support services and resources in the areas of health and sexuality, skills training and development, and empowerment, while serving as a conduit that will explore and develop the expertise of young professional female leaders who will act as advocacy ambassadors on national issues affecting women, as we collectively achieve an equal future in a COVID-19 world. Recognizing that the barriers faced by young women and girls adversely affects their sustained participation in youth programs and organizations, the St. Lucia National Youth Council will continue to be an agent for social transformation through targeted initiatives such as the I Am Woman campaign. That being said, I am pleased to introduce to you a 5 to 6 month long human and social development initiative which seeks to promote, educate, and advocate for sustainable women development in St. Lucia, whilst eradicating the power relations that impede women's attainments of sustainable empowerment at the home, community, and national levels. The I Am Woman campaign will be held under the distinguished patronage of Governor General Emeritus, Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louise, and will officially be launched in April 2021. The activities coordinated under each of the 4 thematic areas, namely advocacy, education, health, and socialization, will ensure comprehensive and far-reaching benefits for all St. Lucian women and girls. While women and girls hold several social liberties, they are often not prioritized in gender-responsive budgeting and are underrepresented in policy decision-making at the highest level. As opposed to their male counterparts, women are disproportionately represented in Parliament and in the Cabinet of Ministers, averaging at 23% according to the Beijing Plus 25 report, Government of St. Lucia 2019. In Running Hills, a publication by the Department of Gender Relations, several women leaders share reasons for their disinterest in running for public office. The lack of women perspectives and voice at these platforms may contribute to the slow pace of legislative reform and low accountability. The I Am Woman campaign aims to strengthen existing support ecosystems and achieve the SLNYC's human and social development strategic outcome, increased social capacity among our young people through the introduction of advocacy and programming mechanisms that will address the social inequalities that plague our society. At the end of the pilot phase of this campaign, we are hopeful that policymakers and institutional leaders will adopt an aggressive approach to addressing the specific needs articulated by the women during this campaign. Today, as we join the rest of the world in celebrating women, we raise our voices in awe of all our sheroes who have walked this earth. Special mention, however, of the late Geraldine Maroc, first female minister, Her Excellency Dame Paulette Louise, longest serving and first female Governor General of St. Lucia, and Miss Rosemary Husbands, first female President of the Senate. All St. Lucian women who have pioneered leadership for other women and girl leaders such as Chelsea Foster, Kathleen Carew, Temba Kade, Rejan Montut, Sylvina Augustine, Kenita Placid, Louise Victor, Kate St. Martin, Jada Francis, Dr. Robin Shalry White, Amani Mafre, Joa Kali, Krishna Jonai, Julian Alfred, Laverne Spencer, and so many other young phenomenal Women's Day, let us remember that the strength of a society is reflected in our women's fortitude, contributions, and temerity. Women, let us recommit to shattering glass ceilings and constructing bridges of equality. The empowerment of women is the empowerment of us all, and women's empowerment is intertwined with respect for human rights. Let us recommit to fighting against inequality and for the seismic cultural shifts that recognize and reward the dignity of our women. Ladies, always remember that you are a shero, and there is absolutely no limit to what we as women can accomplish.
There is no tool for development more effective than the empowerment of women. I am woman.
When women support each other, incredible things happen. I am woman.
The difference between a broken community and a thriving one is the presence of women who are valued. I am woman.
There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. I am woman.
My message to the women and girls of St. Lucia is that you are powerful. You and your voice matters. And I want you to know to speak up even when your voice shakes. I am woman.
Being a woman often means having the strength and courage to fight your way to the top. But it also means being empowered enough to lift others with you on your journey to the top. I am woman.
Please join the campaign and follow our social media pages at nyc.stlucia and at I Am Woman SLU. Or you can send us an email at nyc.stlucia@gmail.com to join this national movement. Happy International Women's Day to all St. Lucian women at home and in the diaspora.